Hello everyone, today in this video I am going to deal with the 6th chapter of class 8th. The title of the chapter is This is Jody's Fawn, written by Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings. Before moving to this story, let me give you the background of this story. In this story, Jody's father has been bitten by a rattlesnake. A rattlesnake, it's a very poisonous snake. It can take life of a person. He quickly kills a doe and uses its heart and liver to draw out the poison. Jody wonders what will happen to the little fawn left without a mother. Now here fawn is a young deer. Young deer is known as fawn and doe is the female deer. So as the background of this story suggests, Jody's father, whose name is Penny Baxter, he was bitten by a rattlesnake, and in order to cure himself, what he did, he killed a doe and he took out liver and heart of that doe in order to save himself. And that doe, it had a little fawn. It had a fawn, it means a young ones. Now that young ones is left all alone in this world, and Jody, who is son of Penny Baxter, who is the central character of this story, he wondered, he's worried about that fawn, that what will happen to him as he is now all alone in this world. Now let's move to this story. Jody allowed his thoughts to drift back to the fawn. He could not keep it out of his mind. He had held it in his dreams in his arms. He slipped from the table and went to his father's beside. Penny lay at rest. His eyes were open and clear, but the pupils were still dark and dilated. Here the word drift back, it means to move back, and dilated, it means wide open. So here in the first paragraph it is being said that Jody, he was worried about the little deer, the fawn, and continuously he was thinking about that fawn only. Even in his dreams he saw that fawn, and then what he did, he went to his father's bed, he went to his father's beside. It means where his father was lying, where he was sleeping, and the name of his father is Penny Baxter. He was lying in his bed. His eyes were open and clear, but the pupils were still dark and dilated. It means still he was not able to collect his nerve. Still he had the effect of poison of rattlesnake. Jody said, "How are you feeling, Pa?" "Just fine, son. Old death has gone thievings elsewhere. But wasn't it a close save?" "I agree." So Jody, he asked his father that how he was feeling. He replied that he was fine now, but still he was not able to recover his nerve, and he said that the old death has gone thieving. It means they were able to defeat death. They have cheated death. But he said that it was a close save, it means a narrow escape. He was quite lucky that he was alive. So both of them agreed at this point. Penny said, "I'm proud of you, boy, the way you kept your head and did what was needed." "Pa." "Yes, son." "Pa, do you recollect the doe and the fawn?" "I can never forget them. The poor doe saved me, that's certain." So Penny is the father of Jody. He said that "I'm proud of you, my son." Why he was proud? Because it was his ideas only, it was Jody's ideas only to kill the doe and to use the heart and liver of that doe as an antidote. So he said that it was you only because of whom I am alive today. So here we can see the characteristics, the character sketch of this boy, that at the moment when difficulties came, he did not lose his calm. He was calm and composed, and due to which he was able to find out the solution of that situation. Then he asked his father that, do you remember that doe and fawn? His father said to him that I will never forget that doe and fawn, because due to that doe only I am alive today. Pa, the fawn may be out there yet. It might be hungry and very scared, I suppose so. Pa, I am a big boy now and don't need to drink milk. Why don't I go and see if I can find the fawn and bring it here and raise it? So again, the other positive quality of this boy has been highlighted over here. But he says that he asked his father, the fawn, the little deer, it might be hungry and scared. He might be hungry and scared because till now he was with his mother and now there is no one to take care of him, and therefore he said that definitely he would be hungry and scared. Now in the next statement it is being given that I am a big boy now and don't need to drink milk. Here he means to say it may be that his family could not afford the cost of rearing a deer. But this boy, he was ready to sacrifice his milk, and he said that I will give my milk to that deer as I am grown up now and I don't need milk now. So he was asking his father to allow him to bring that fawn back to his home, and he said that he will raise that deer. Penny lay quiet, staring at Selim. Boy, you have got me hemmed. It won't take much to raise it, Pa. It will soon start eating leaves and acorns. You are smarter than boys of your age. We took its mother and it was not to blame. Surely it seems ungrateful to leave it to starve. Son, I can't say no to you. I never thought I would live to see another day. Can I ride back with Melville and see if I can find it? Tell your ma I said you can go. So the boy has asked his father, he was seeking his permission so that he can allow him to bring that fawn to his home and to raise it. To that his father replied that you have got me hemmed in. It means he said that he was caught in dilemma. He can't even say no, only because he can't say no. Why he can't say no? Because of the mother of that fawn only, he was alive, and therefore he can't say no to raise it. And his son Jody is quite smart. He says that it will not cost much to raise that fawn. Very soon it will start eating leaves and acorns. What is acorn? It is small brown nuts. So he says that after few years or after few days definitely it will start eating leaves and acorns, and therefore the cost of raising will be nothing. So therefore I request you, I ask you to let me raise that fawn. His father says that you are smarter than the boys of your age. And then what he says, we took its mother and it was not to blame. So he says that we took the life of his mother and there was no mistake of that fawn. The fawn was not to be blamed for it. We took life of that deer, that doe, in order to satisfy our need, in order to save your life. And for that fawn was not to be blamed. He was not mistaken, and therefore he should not suffer. Surely it seems ungrateful to leave it to starve. So his father said definitely it's an unthankful act to leave that fawn to starve, because I am alive because of that deer only, because of that doe only, and therefore if we will leave that fawn to starve, so definitely it will be unthankful act. Therefore we are responsible for raising that fawn. So this boy asked his father that can he ride back to the place where he has found the fawn, where he has seen the fawn, and he asked the permission, he asked the willingness of his father, and he asked that whether he could right back to that point with Melville. So his father says that yes, I allow you to go and bring that fawn, but ask your mother and tell her that I have said yes to it. He sidled back to the table and sat down. His mother was pouring coffee for everyone. He said, Ma, Pa says I can go bring back the fawn. She held the coffee pot in midair. What fawn? The fawn belonging to the doe we killed. We used the doe's liver to draw out the poison and save Pa. She gasped, well, for pity's sake. So he went to his mother. He sat beside his mother on the table where she was pouring coffee for everyone. So he asked to his mother that can I go and bring that fawn to our home and can we raise it? So she asked him that what fawn, which fawn you are talking about? Then he says that the fawn which belongs to the doe which we have killed in order to draw antidote from the liver and heart of that doe in order to save father. So this lady, the mother of Jody, even she gasped. She was surprised and even perhaps he said yes to it. Pa says it would be ungrateful to leave it to starve. Doc Wilson said that right, ma'am, nothing in the world comes quite free. The boy's right and daddy's right. So he said to his mother that his father has said that it will be unthankful to leave that fawn to starve. It means as it is a child now, it's a very young deer now, and therefore he can't arrange his food by his own, and therefore it will die one day. Doc Wilson is someone who is present over there, and even he said that yes, ma'am, the boy and his father is right, as nothing in this world comes free. Melville said he can ride back with me. I will help him find it. She set down the pot helplessly. Well, if you will give it your milk, we have got nothing else to feed it. So his mother said that definitely, okay, no problem. I will allow you to go and bring that fawn and raise it, but on a condition that you will have to share your milk with that fawn, as we have got nothing to raise that fawn. So he says that he will go there with Melville on horse and he will find the fawn. So he has got permission of his mother as well as of his father. So now here starts the journey to the jungle where he has seen fawn. Melville said, come on boy, we have got to get riding. Ma Baxter asked anxiously, you will not be gone long. Jody said, I will be back before dinner for sure. Melville mounted his horse and pulled Jody up behind him. He said to Melville, do you think the fawn is still there? Will you help me find him? We will find him if he's alive. How you know it's a he? The spots were in line on those fawn. Pa says the spots were every which way. Here anxiously it means worried, and every each way it means different direction. So now Melville and the boy Jody, they were ready to ride to the jungle and to bring the fawn to their home. The mother of Jody, she was worried about him and she said that don't take much time. To that he replied and he said that I will be back before dinner. So now both of them, Melville and the Jody, they started on their journey to the jungle to bring fawn back. So Melville, he asked him, do you think the fawn is still there? Will you help me find him? We will find him, he is alive. See how certain this boy is. He says that definitely he is going to find that fawn if he is alive. To that Melville asked him that how you know that it's he. It means how do you know that it's a male deer? Then he said that his father has told him that the spots were in line. So on a male deer the spots used to be in a proper sequence in a single line. While in a female deer, the spots used to be in a different direction in a zigzag manner. So this is the difference between female deer and male deer. This is how you can identify the female deer and male deer. Jody gave himself over the thoughts of the fawn. They passed the abandoned clearing. He said, "Cut to the north, Melville. It was up here that Pa got bitten by the snake and killed the doe, and I saw the fawn." Suddenly Jody was unwilling to have Melville with him. If the fawn was dead or could not be found, he could not have his disappointment seen, and if the fawn was there, the meeting would be so lovely and so secret that he could not endure to share it. So now they have reached at the point, they have reached the jungle, and he has identified the path, and finally he got up. He reached the point where he has seen the fawn. Now one thing came to his mind, to Jody's mind, that he was unwilling to have Melville with him. He don't want Melville to be with him. He wanted to be all alone. Why he wanted to be all alone? Because in both the conditions, whether he finds fawn or whether he is unable to find the fawn, in both the condition, he don't want anyone else to see his emotion, to see how he react. In case if he fails to find, in that case he don't want anyone to see his disappointment, and in case if he finds, he don't want anyone to see his lovely and secret meeting with the fawn. Therefore he don't want Melville to be with him. So let's see what happened. He said, "It's not far now, but the scrub is very thick for a horse. I can make it on foot, but I am afraid to leave you, boy. Suppose you got lost or got bitten by a snake too." So now he started making excuses, and what excuses he gave? He said that the scrub it means small bushes. He said that the small bushes, the bushes which were there in the jungle, he said that it was quite thick for a horse to get into the forest, and therefore now you leave me all alone over here. From here I will go on my foot. It means he will walk from there. The Melville, he replied, he said that, "No, I can't leave you all alone. I am afraid to leave you alone. It may be that perhaps you will be lost in the jungle, or even you will be bitten by a rattlesnake. I will take care. It might take me a long time to find the fawn if he's wandered. Leave me off right here." So he asked Melville to leave him at that point, at that place. From there he will walk in order to find out fawn, and he wanted to be all alone. So he says that it may be that it will take a long time to find the fawn, therefore you can return back to home and leave me all alone. All right, but you take it easy now. You know, north here and east, there and there, that tall pine makes me bearing. Here makes a bearing, it means act as a compass and help to find direction. So when he asked Melville to leave him all alone, then he said that, "Boy, it may be that you will be lost in the jungle, you may be bitten by a rattlesnake, and I think that you don't even know the direction here in the jungle." To that he replied that tall pine tree, it may be there was a tall pine tree over there. So he said that tall pine tree will help me to identify the direction. So long Melville, I am obliged. So both of them, they said bye to each other, and Melville left the spot. He waited for the sound of hooves to end, then cut to the right. The scrub was still. Only his own crackling of twigs sounded across the silence. So after that, as soon as Melville left the place, after that what he did is he waited for few minutes for the sound of hooves to end. What is hooves? Hooves is the hard part of the foot of animals. So he waited for a few minutes, and after that he made his way into the bushes. And there was complete silence. He could listen to the crackling of twigs only, and apart from that no other sound was being heard. He wondered for an instant if he had mistaken his direction. Then a buzzard rose in front of him and flapped into the air. He came into the clearing under the oaks. After that, what happened? Suddenly a buzzard is a bird. Here in the picture you can see this is buzzard. So suddenly a buzzard rose in front of him and flapped into the air. It means made movement of its wings and went into the air. So this boy, he came into the clearing. Clearing, it means open area, and he went under the oak tree. Buzzard sat in a circle around the carcass of the doe. They turned their heads on their long scrawny necks and hissed at him. So what he saw? He saw that the buzzards, there were a number of buzzards, and they all were sitting in circle around the carcass of the doe. Carcass, it means the dead body of the doe. And the boy was there, the Jody was there, and therefore in order to make him frightful, what they did? They hissed at him. But this boy, let's see how he reacted. He threw his bow at them and they flew into an adjacent tree. The sand showed large cat's prints, but the big cats killed fresh, and they had left the doe to the carrion birds. So the boy, how he reacted? He threw a bow. Bow, it means a branch, and the buzzard, it flew to the adjacent tree. Adjacent, it means nearby tree. So here we can see that this boy, he was courageous. He was not afraid of anything. And after that, what he observed, he tried to find out the footprints of animal, so that from that he may get some clue that where that fawn has gone. But there he could find the footprints of big animals. It means something like tiger and lion. And it is being said that tiger and lion, they feed upon fresh flesh, and therefore what they have done, they have left that carcass of doe there only for the carrion birds. He parted the grass at the place where he had seen the fawn. It did not seem possible that it was only yesterday. The fawn was not there. He circled the clearing. There was no sound, no sign. The buzzard clapped their wings, impatient to return to their business. He returned to the spot where the fawn had emerged and dropped on all fours, studying the sands for the small hoof prints. The night's rain had washed away all tracks except those of cats and buzzards. Now this boy, Jody, he started looking for fawn, and he looked everywhere in all the possible directions where he has seen the fawn yesterday. But there was no sign of fawn over there. Only one sound was being heard, that was the clacking sound of buzzard. Cackled, it means sharp sound. It refers to the sharp sound made by birds. So he was able to hear only one sound, that is the sound of buzzard, and apart from that no other sound was being heard. So there was no sign of fawn over there. So after that, what he started doing, he started studying the footprints of animals over the sand. From there he could get some idea that in which direction the fawn has gone. But again he was not able to study that, because last time it has rained and the rain has washed away all the footprints, and there he could see the footprints of only cats and buzzards. Movement directly in front of him startled him so that he tumbled backward. The fawn lifted its face to his. It turned its head with a wide wandering motion and shook him through with the stare of its liquid eyes. It was quivering it made no effort to it made no effort to rise or run. Jody could not trust himself to move. So while he was looking for fawn, suddenly what he saw? He saw that the fawn was there. It lifted its face to his face. And as soon as he saw it, he was startled, he was surprised, and he was so much surprised that he tumbled. Tumbled, it means to fall back suddenly but without injury. It turned its head with a wide wandering motion and shook him through with the stare of liquid eyes. It was quivering. It made no effort to rise or run. Jody could not trust himself to move. So he was to see fawn in front of him, and when he saw him, he saw that the fawn was quivering. Quivering, it means tremble or shake with a slight rapid motion. And when that fawn came in front of him, that fawn made no effort to rise or run. He whispered, "It's me." The fawn lifted its nose, scenting him. He reached out one hand and laid it on the soft neck. The touch made him delirious. He moved forward on all fours until he was close beside it. He put his arms around its body. A light convulsion passed over it, but it did not stir. So now this boy, he found the fawn. Now he was trying to get hold of it, and therefore in a very low sound, in a low voice, he said it to the fawn that it's me. And after that, the fawn, it lifted its nose and it started smelling the boy. So what he did, he spread his hand and he gave his hand to the fawn, and slowly and gradually what he did, he moved his hand toward the neck of the fawn and he touched it with love and affection. The touch made him delirious. It means a state of wild excitement. As soon as he touched the fawn, he was wild with excitement. And after that, he waited for the fawn to come closer to him. As soon as it came closer to him, what he did, he put his arms around its body, and when he put his arms around its body, what he felt a light convulsion. What is convulsion? A sudden violent movement of the body that one cannot control. He stroked its side as gently as though the fawn were a china deer, and he might break it. Its skin was very soft, it was sleek and clean and had a sweet scent of grass. He rose slowly and lifted the fawn from the ground. Its legs hung limply. They were surprisingly long and he had to hoist. So now the boy, Jody, he has finally found the fawn and he has got hold of that fawn. He has lifted it, he has caught it. Here in the picture you can see that now the fawn is in his lap. So how he was handling that fawn, that is being compared to china deer. What is china deer? It's a clay deer. It is made up of clay. And this is how he was handling it. He was handling it so gently that it seems that he was handling a deer made up of clay. And now the physique of the deer fawn has been described over here, that the skin was very soft, it was sleek, it means smooth and shiny, and it had a sweet smell of grass. And its legs was quite long and it hung limply. Limply it means walk with difficulty. And as the legs of the deer, it was quite long and therefore he had to hoist it. It means pull higher as high as possible under his arms, so that he could walk freely through the bushes without hurting the legs of fawn. He was afraid that it might kick and bleat at the sight and the smell of its mother. He skirted the clearing and pushed his way into the thicket. It was difficult to fight through with his burden. The fawn's legs caught in the bushes and he could not lift his own with freedom. Now the boy has the fawn in his lap. Now it was the time for him to return back to home, but one thing came to his mind, that if he will go through the path where the doe was lying dead, then it may be that the sight and the smell of its mother will make him unrestful. Therefore, what he did, instead of choosing that path, he started his journey through the bushes. He went into the thicket, it means in the bushes. And there in the bushes, as it was dense, he was not able to move properly because he had fawn in his lap. And the legs of fawn was quite long, therefore he had to hoist it, to lift it very higher. Therefore it was problematic, it was difficult for him to walk through that bushes. He tried to shield its face from prickling vines, it had bobbed with his stride. Now as it was bushes, there were prickling vines. Prickling, it means thorn. It's like here in the image, as you can see, these are the prickling vines. Vines are creepers. There were number of climbers creepers plants, and it had got thorn on it. Therefore he was trying to protect, he was trying to shield the face of fawn from all those thorns. It had bobbed. Bobbed, it means to move quickly up and down with his stride. So the boy, he was taking a long step. Stride, it means to move with long step, and due to which the head of fawn was moving quickly up and down. His heart thumped with a marvel of its acceptance of him. He reached the trail and walked as fast as he could until he came to the intersection with the road home. He stopped to rest and set the fawn down on its dangling legs. It wavered on them, it looked at him and bleated. So now the boy, he was very much excited, he was very much happy. His heart thumped and he was very much surprised that he has got fawn. And not only he has got the fawn, but the fawn has even accepted him. So he was moving with a long step and he was hurrying to get out of that forest as soon as possible. So finally he came to the intersection with the road home. So he came to the point from where the path will lead him to home. There when he reached, as he was totally tired, so what he did, he stopped there to take some rest, and what he did, he set fawn down on its dangling. Dangling, it means to hang freely legs. It wavered. The fawn had become very weak and therefore it was not able to stand up properly. He said enchantedly, I will carry you after I get my breath. So as he was totally tired, he was not able to lift the fawn anymore. Therefore he said it to that fawn that let me take some rest, and after that again I will lift you and carry you to home. He remembered his father saying that a fawn would follow if it had first been carried. He started away slowly. The fawn stared after him. He came back to it and stroked it and walked away again. It took a few wobbling steps toward him and cried piteously. It was willing to follow him. It belonged to him. It was his own. He was light-headed with his joy. He wanted to fondle it, to run and romp with it, to call it to come with him. He dared not alarm it. He picked it up and carried it in front of him with his two arms. It seemed to him that he walked without effort. So now the boy, suddenly he remembered what his father has said to him. His father has said him that a fawn would follow him if it had been carried firstly. So what he did? He started walking away slowly in order to see whether the fawn is following him or not. So what happened? The fawn stared at him and he stayed there only. So again he came back to the fawn, he stroked him, and again he started his journey to his home. The fawn, it took some wobbling step. Wobbling, it means to move side to side. So it was trying his best to move, but perhaps it was not able to move properly. Here piteously, it means with pity, causing you feel sadness and sympathy. So the fawn, it was willing to follow him, but as it was weak, it has become weak, therefore it was not able to walk properly. And at the same time, this boy Jody, he was very much happy because a sense of belongingness came to his heart. Now he can sense, he has felt that the fawn belongs to him, and therefore he was very much happy. So he wanted to run to play with that fawn, and after that what he did, he picked it up. He picked that fawn in his lap with his two arms in front of him, and he again started walking back to his home. His arms began to ache. He was forced to stop again. When he walked on, the fawn followed him at once. He allowed it to walk a little distance, then he picked it up again. The distance home was nothing. He could have walked all day and night and into the night, carrying it and watching it follow. So now his arms began to ache. So he stopped for a few minutes, for a few time, and when he started walking again, after taking some rest, what he saw that the fawn started following him. And then he says that distance was nothing to him. Why it was nothing to him? Because he was very much happy that day. And the sight of fawn walking behind him and the sight of fawn following him gave him immense pleasure and happiness, and therefore he said that he could walk all the day with that fawn. He was wet with sweat, but a light breeze blew through the June morning, cooling him. The sky was clear as spring water in blue china cup. He came to the clearing. It was fresh and green after night's rain. He fumbled with the latch and was finally obliged to set down the fawn to manage it. Then he had an idea. He would walk into the house, into Penny's bedroom, with the fawn walking behind him, but at the steps the fawn balked and refused to climb them. He picked it up and went to his father. Penny lay with closed eyes. After that, the boy finally reached his house. He was totally tired. He was sweating, but he was happy, and therefore he did not care about it. And the morning was quite clear. It was as clear as spring water. He fumbled. Fumble, it means do or handle something clumsily with the latch. So he was finally at the door of his house, and he was to open the latch of the door of his house. So what he did, he had an idea over there. While he was opening the latch, he kept the fawn down, and he thought that he will move, he will get into the house, and the fawn will follow him. But what happened? The fawn, it hesitated to climb the steps. Barked, it means to hesitate. So therefore, as when he saw that the fawn has refused to climb the step, so again what he did, he picked it up in his arms, in his lap, and he went into the house where Penny, his father, was lying. Jody called, "Pa, look." So now let's see how his father reacted. Penny turned his head. Jody stood beside him. The fawn clutched hard against him. It seems to Penny that the boy's eyes were as bright as fawns. He said, "I'm glad you found him." So now Penny, he saw him he saw the fawn in the arm of his son and he became very happy to see Jody as well as fawn. And it seems to him that the boy's eyes were as bright as fawn. Now, why the boy's eyes were bright? Because he was very much happy. He was in an excited state because he has found the fawn and finally he has brought it home as well. Jody then went to the kitchen. The fawn warbled after him. A pan of morning's milk stood in the kitchen sink. The cream had risen on it. He skimmed the cream into a jug. He poured milk into a small gourd. He held it out to the fawn. It butted it suddenly, smelling the milk. He saved it precariously from spilling over the floor. It could make nothing of milk in the gourd. So now Jody, he took fawn to the kitchen to give him milk. When he went into the kitchen, he took out milk from the kitchen safe and a layer of cream was there on the milk. So what he did, he skimmed. Skimmed, it means to remove something from the surface of a liquid. So he removed cream from that milk which was there for fawn, and after that what he did, he poured some milk into a small gourd for that fawn and he gave it to fawn. But what he did, it poached it suddenly. He smelled the milk and he poached it. Jody, he saved precariously, it means very cautiously. The milk may have fallen on the floor, but he saved it from falling over the floor. And then he understood that it could make nothing of the milk in the gourd. It means the fawn can do nothing. He cannot drink the milk which is there in the gourd. He can't do anything with it. So let's see. He dipped his finger in the milk and thrust them into fawn's soft, wet mouth. It sucked greedily. When he drew them, it bleated frantically and butted him. He dipped his finger again as the fawn sucked. He lowered them slowly into the milk. So the fawn, he was not able to drink milk from the gourd. Therefore what he did, he dipped his finger into the gourd, into the milk, and then put that finger into the mouth of the fawn. So as soon as he put his finger into the mouth of the fawn, it started sucking it. And as soon as he withdrew, he removed his finger from the mouth of the fawn, it bleated. Bleated, it means to speak in a weak voice. And it started behaving in a wild manner and it started hitting Jody with its horn. So it means that he was trying to say that he wanted it more and more. He dipped his finger again as the fawn sucked. He lowered them slowly into the milk. The fawn blew and sucked and snorted. It stamped its small hoof impatiently. As long as he held his finger below the level of the milk, the fawn was content. So he continued this act of putting his finger into the milk and then inserting it into the mouth of fawn again and again. And as soon as his finger was there in the milk, he was very happy, he was content, and he was very much happy. Here the word stamped has been given. It means to put foot down very heavily and noisily. As long as he has held his finger below the level of the milk, the fawn was content. It closed its eye dreamily. It was ecstasy to feel its tongue against his hand. Its small tail flicked back and forth. The last of the milk vanished in a thrill of foam and gurgling. So as soon as his finger was there in the milk, and as soon as he gave his finger into the mouth of the fawn was quite content. It was happy and it felt very happy to suck its finger. And the moment it was sucking Jody's finger, he felt quite happy. Here the word ecstasy has been used. Here it means happiness. He was quite happy when the fawn was sucking his finger. And while it was sucking his finger, it was moving his tail back and forth. And very soon what happened? The milk which was there in the gourd, it vanished. It means this is how he drank all the milk. And this is how we saw that a bond was established between the fawn and the Jody. So this is how this boy Jody, who had a very warm heart, who had a very big heart, he has brought the fawn to his home and he will raise it. This is all about this story. Thank you.